Catholic Charities of Santa Clara County presents Change Lives for Good with your host, Greg Kefferly.
Imagine being a grandparent. You're ready for your golden years, and all of a sudden you get a call that your son or your daughter is not able to take care of their children, and you are now a parent again. Or imagine that you're a relative, an older brother, older sister, an aunt, or an uncle, and you now are responsible for caring for younger children. What are you going to do? How are you going to be a parent again? Hello, I'm Greg Kepferly, CEO of Catholic Charities of Santa Clara County, and welcome to Change Lives for Good. Today we're talking about Kinship Care, Kinship Resource Center at Catholic Charities, and with me today are Saul Gonzalez, Interim Program Manager of our Kinship Resource Center. Welcome, Saul.
Thank you.
And Anthony Cuellar, who himself was raised through the Kinship program and is now a legal guardian. So welcome, Anthony.
Thank you.
Glad you're here. So we're going to have a conversation with Anthony and Saul in a minute to talk about what Kinship program does. But first, let's watch this video of some grandparents caring for their granddaughter.
My daughter had a little girl, and her name is Kaylee, and we've been taking care of her since she's 2 weeks old. We have guardianship of her 3 years now, almost.
She's 8 years old.
She's 8 years old, and we are raising her just one, her. And both of us, are raising her together. It's a joint project, really.
We're spending our golden years, we're both 60s, in our 60s, raising her. But we wouldn't want it any other way.
Yeah, we really love doing it. It's not, we don't feel like it's a burden.
We had to have kind of like certification that Kaylee was okay in our care. And we didn't plan on this. Lisa and I have been married for 9 years, and we didn't really plan our retirement, so to speak.
Yeah.
And so it's been a tough go at it financially, but we still wouldn't want it any other way.
Well, how do we know about the Kinship program? Because we went to Kids Park. We dropped our granddaughter one night, and then at the end, when I went to pick it up, they told me that there was this program in Santa Clara or
because
San
it was
Jose.
really expensive.
Yeah, it was very expensive, so they told us that we should apply for it and give them a call, and they will be able to help us.
Well, I feel the biggest thing for us, besides Kids Park, because now we have a date night once a week, and without the babysitting situation at Kids Park, we'd have a tough time doing that. So we have our time together with that help. But what I feel is really neat for us is that we have other caregivers, okay? And we meet once a month, and we have our Picks and Peaks session. And with that, you realize you're not alone going through this process. And in fact, as you take in information, it helps you out. Plus, you can give support back. Oh, you need this? Well, we got this going over here, not going over there, or whatever. So, court situations, people have been through it already. People who, in fact, have the same identities in court. How can I put this?
Similar situation.
With the same people, so
Yeah.
we know what to expect. Okay, so it's like almost getting coached ahead of time.
We learn from each other. These
Yeah.
support groups are wonderful, because in the beginning we used to think, we don't know what's going to happen, and we're alone, and we see the difference that there's many grandparents, taking care of their grandkids. And we also learn from each other, what they've been through and what we've been through, so we can share a lot of the information.
It's something that we look forward to. It's been advantageous, but we love our little girl, and we don't begrudge having her in our life at all. Actually, encouragement. They, I would say the vast majority are thinking this is going to be temporary. Okay, and we keep telling them, no, it's not temporary.
Yeah.
This is going to be on the long haul. Most of them are single moms, by the way.
Yeah.
After a while, they in our conversations, they accept it that they're going to do it, and it changes from being in their minds, a short-term burden into a challenge. You know what? My grandkids are better off with me, or my nephew,
Right.
or my brother, or
Yeah.
whatever the case may be. The
When-
Golden Grandmothers.
She had a part there.
Oh.
And it was,
She gave a little speech.
yeah, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was so moving.
Yeah. Her biological mother has been trying to get custody, and the courts are telling her no, because there's a criminal record and drugs and alcoholism and all
Yeah.
that. And in Kaylee's little speech, she said, "What would I want to go back to that for?" And then she turned toward us and said, "These are my real parents."
These are my real parents. That's a powerful statement. And that's an amazing work that you do, Saul, and your team at Catholic Charities Kinship Resource Center to make that possible, both with grandparents and also with other relative caregivers. So tell us, what's the reality of children that are in kinship situations here in the county, and what are we doing about it in the county, and what are we doing about it at Catholic Charities?
Well, in reality, Craig, first of all, thank you for having us here. Stories like this really need to be known, and we need to call attention to them because there is a study done in social services in 2011, and the study said that 10% of children being cared for under the age of 18 are through grandparents or relative caregivers or non-relative caregivers. So there's a huge population in our county that is that are not with their biological parents. And so most people don't realize the higher and the need that there really is for this particular group. So with the Kinship Resource Center, our staff offers support services, services such as support groups with the Kinship Resource Center. We also have seminars, but I'll talk more about that later. But the Kinship Resource Center has two different tiers of service. This is the Kinship Resource Center, who accepts walk-ins. Anybody who is self-referred and that needs assistance and contacts us. And then those are part of the sort of a court mandated deal that are referred through DFCS, or the Department of Family and Children's Services. So both of these programs are actually under the umbrella of Catholic Charities CYFD, or the Children, Family, Youth Development, and there is a huge need, and these families really do come to us for support.
So for the people they're coming in as walk-ins, they're often either grandparents who all of a sudden it might be like Joe and Lisa, who heard about us from Kids Park or some other place and say, "Oh, there's a service here, and I heard about you. Somebody referred me here," or it might be another relative caregiver that's asking for help.
Correct.
And then those referred from the county are through the court mandated program, where because of a situation in the family, the court says you need to become part of this program in order to get help.
Correct. Yeah. So the Kinship Resource Center is only services the population of relative caregivers only, that are taking care of children that are of the family because mostly grandparents. That's the main population. But we also have brothers, uncles, aunts that are taking care of family members as well. With the kinship support program, they could be relative or non-relative. They can be part of the foster care system or not, and they provide services directly to that population that could be court mandated.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so the reality is that it's a huge responsibility to become a caregiver. And so, Anthony, tell us a little bit about your story about how did you get first involved with the kinship program?
So as a child, I was raised by my grandparents. myself and 3 of my other siblings, and they had gotten help when they were going through the process of getting guardianship of all of us. And I was involved with them since about the age of 11 until I was 18, and when I was living under my grandparents' roof. And there was a situation that came up with my biological mother and 4 of my other siblings that were from her, and she ended up getting the children removed by Child Protective Services when I was 19. And through that, I ended up wanting to be the legal guardian of my younger siblings. So through the Department of Family and Child Services, once I started going through the process of becoming their foster parent before I became their legal guardian, they referred me to the kinship program, and that's how we ended up getting involved with them.
So you started as a child in the kinship program, cared by your grandparents, who are the grandparent caregivers, and now you yourself have become the caregiver.
Yeah.
That's an amazing.
The tables have turned.
The tables have turned, and you have now your life has been changed, and now you're changing the lives of your sisters and brother.
Oh yes, definitely in major ways. Just character building and academically. Just before they were very low in academics, and now they're just excelling through the roofs, which is great. And they have a lot of great self-esteem. They're high self-esteem, and they're great character kids as well.
So you've got to be really proud of them, I'm sure.
Oh yes, I am definitely proud of them. Myself and my girlfriend are both proud of them very, very much.
That's terrific. So when you made this decision, how did that feel? What was that you said you had to step up?
I don't know. I kind of really didn't feel anything. It was just kind of instilled in me from my grandparents and seeing what they have done for myself and my other siblings. So when this situation came up, I just kind of stepped in and said, this is what I'm going to do. And like I said, it was just instilled in me, and I just took it on as a challenge.
Yeah, well, yeah, you took on the challenge.
Yeah.
But it sounds like it's a joyful challenge, too.
Oh, definitely,
right?
Definitely. Every single day. It definitely is very joyful.
Right. So what sort of support are you getting or have you gotten through this process?
A lot of support, actually. We've got support through when school starts up again. We get school supplies, we get clothing allowance and stuff like that. When Christmas comes around, other holidays as well, but particularly Christmas, we are able to sign up to get them gifts and everything like that, because we aren't really able to provide for them right now, and it's a little hard providing for 4 other children. So we sign up through that program, we get that help. We're able to get tickets to certain events, things like that. So there's access to many different resources through the kinship program.
So that's wonderful that you're getting that type of material support. But it seems like as we were hearing from Joe and Lisa with the support group issue, that it's really important to hear from others who are going through this whole process. And maybe you could tell me a little bit about how that support group works.
Okay, so we actually have 2 support groups, 2 here in San Jose and 1 in Gilroy. And really it's just caregivers coming together, having an opportunity to voice their opinion, voice their problems, have a helpful hand from those who already been through that situation that can actually walk them through the process and, you know, giving them feedback as to what to expect. I think that's the support network that these parents sometimes just need. They want to be able to talk about their problems and be able to relate, and so support groups really do offer that opportunity for them to have a respite opportunity as well, because we also have childcare for them. We also provide them a dinner, and so it's a little bit of time that they are away from their children and being able to socialize with peers in their same situation.
Right. Yeah. So are you finding that's a helpful process for you?
Oh, definitely. Like when you first go in there, you think I'm alone, but once you step into these different support programs, you're like, I'm not the only one dealing with these type of situations. There's many different people, so you're able to express yourself and get feedback from other people in the situations that they're going through, and maybe you might have to face that situation, and you kind of already have the experience, and just kind of like a review, you're able to handle the situation very well.
Right. So as I think about this huge challenge that you have, stepping into a completely different role than what you expected in your life.
Yes.
And yet at the same time, it's both a challenge, but it's joyful. But you also need that support from peers and from professionals to make that work.
Oh yeah, if we didn't have the support, I truly believe that we would not be able to do it. We honestly, we wouldn't be able to do it without the support. The support is the biggest thing. Mainly just the affordable housing that we have right now is huge for us, because if we didn't have the affordable housing, the kids most likely would still be in the foster system, and they wouldn't be placed with a relative or non-relative. In that case, they would just be from satellite to satellite home.
Right. So the important thing is being able to keep your whole family together, which is
Yes.
also amazing.
Yes.
And then having those resources makes that very possible.
Correct.
So that's really good. We're going to come back in a minute to continue our discussion on Catholic Charities Kinship Resource Center and the amazing stories of grandparents and other relative caregivers who've chosen to be the caregiver for their family members, and what that takes and how that has changed their lives for good.
Strong families and children growing up in a thriving home. That is what Catholic Charities of Santa Clara County's Kinship Resource Center creates and maintains on a daily basis. The purpose of the Catholic Charities of Santa Clara County Kinship Resource Center is to strengthen and support grandparents and other relative and non-relative headed families in Santa Clara County so that they can provide safe and secure homes for the children in their care. The Catholic Charities of Santa Clara County Kinship Resource Center provides each family with individual case management, support groups, a caregiver warm line, educational seminars, recreational opportunities, and respite. The Catholic Charities of Santa Clara County Kinship Resource Center is eligible for any relative and non-relative caregivers, providing full-time care for grandchildren, great-grandchildren, siblings, nieces, and nephews. The children must be under the age of 18, and the biological parents may not be living in the same home. For more information about the Catholic Charities of Santa Clara County Kinship Resource Center, please contact 408-200-0980 or check out our website at www.catholiccharitieссcc.org. No child should be neglected, abused, or abandoned by their parent, but it happens every day. And every day, grandparents, aunts, uncles, brothers, sisters, cousins, or other family members step up to help. That is where the Catholic Charities of Santa Clara County Kinship Support Program comes to help. The program is contracted through the Department of Family and Children's Services in Santa Clara County and works collaboratively with the Department of Family and Children's Service and helps to guide these families through difficulties which include supporting family reunification, legal guardianship, and adoption when and if necessary. To help these new families, the Catholic Charities of Santa Clara County Kinship Support Program provides a dedicated resource specialist, home visits, caregiver warm line, recreation, and respite. To be eligible for the Catholic Charities of Santa Clara County Kinship Support Program, the child must be placed with a relative or non-related extended family member through the foster care system. To learn more about the Catholic Charities of Santa Clara County Kinship Support Program, please contact 408-200-0980 or check out our website at www.catholiccharitieссcc.org.
Catholic Charities works to end poverty by helping families and individuals get the tools they need to become more self-reliant. It offers a hand up rather than a hand out through a wide range of services and serves more than 41,000 people each year of all cultures and beliefs.
Hello and welcome back to Change Lives for Good. I'm your host, Greg Kepferly, CEO of Catholic Charities of Santa Clara County. And today we're talking about the Kinship Resource Center of Catholic Charities. And with me are Saul Gonzalez, Interim Program Manager of our Kinship Resource Center, and Anthony Cuellar, who is a kinship caregiver. So welcome back to the program. And so Anthony, as we were talking before the break, you were talking about affordable housing. So how did you find affordable housing?
That's a great question. So my girlfriend and I were actually out to dinner one night, and the whole night we were discussing how we were going to get a house and what we were going to do and the things we needed that were necessary for us to get the children in our placement. So after dinner, we were just driving home and going up Mayberry Road, and we seen a construction site, and we drove up and there was a sign and it said soon to be coming, and it was a apartment complex, and it also said affordable housing on there. and it was through Catholic Charities. So on there was a website that you can access, and there was on the website you had to follow certain steps and certain process to sign up and submit the application. So that's basically how we got the affordable housing, through Catholic Charities. They built these apartments, which are called King's Crossing apartments. And once we got that, we got the affordable housing, and the kids were able to be in our placement.
Oh, that's terrific. So there's the added bonus there and serendipity of driving down the road. And there you go.
There you go.
There's a great blessing there. So that's terrific. So when Kinship Resource Center helps people, there are a number of different ways that people can get services. So maybe talk about how many people do you serve a year, and what are the different ways that they can get served?
Well, for both the Kinship Resource Center and also the Kinship Support Program, we offer roughly services to about 900 plus individuals. This includes the grandparents, caregivers, and children alike. And so there's many ways that people can assist or help us. I often say the majority of our population are grandparents, and they always say that compared to adoptive parents and compared to people in the foster care system, they don't get the subsidies or the assistance or support from the county. They're pretty much left on their own to be able to provide to the additional children that they bring on to their family. And so it becomes a financial burden for them. And so we offer a little bit of respite opportunity through, like I said, our support groups earlier, but also through Kids Park. But this is very limited. But I know that we need more respite, and there's more evidence nowadays that respite is actually, caregivers need to take care of themselves before they can actually give out and give back. So
you need a break every once in a while.
Oh yeah,
even though
definitely.
you love your brothers and sisters, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so grandparents also, they need to be able to have dinner on their own, or be able to go play bingo at the local community center.
Yeah.
But they need childcare for that, and so respite opportunities are major. And so financial support is really needed, because there really isn't an opportunity for grants that would fund respite, because they don't see sort of the return on the investment per se. But we know from the bottom up that it's really a needed asset, and really something that parents and caregivers really do need. So monetary donations. We also have opportunities that people can volunteer. We have two major events with the Kinship program. We have our Kinship holiday party, which is actually happening December the 6th. The first Saturday of December. This is a great deal for the kids, the families. They get a gift. They have an opportunity to take a picture with Santa Claus. St. Simon's, who is a wonderful ally of ours, provides dinner for them, and also the 8th grade class from one of their schools does arts and crafts and also face painting, and they're just really a great asset. But we, aside from them, we could also use additional volunteers. In June, we also have a barbecue, a summer barbecue for our clients. That one we host ourselves, and so if anybody has anything to give back, or if you want to organize a game, or if you want to donate some fruit or vegetables, this is a good opportunity. Also to be part of community. We welcome everybody.
Right. So it's, again, as a kinship caregiver, you're not alone, right? There are a lot of others that are in this situation.
Many others.
Right, but also there's a broader community of support that Saul was talking about here, and if we can get more of those community members to understand that, yes, it really does take a village, right,
yes,
to raise children, right? And
yes,
we're all connected. That's terrific. But you were talking about a little bit about on a policy issue here. I was picking up that there's some difference between the foster care program and the benefits that come through the foster care program versus the kinship program and those that aren't in the foster care program in terms of the benefits. So do you have some ideas or recommendations related to that?
Yeah, I mean, as a relative caregiver, I'm pretty sure that they would be, the subsidies or the assistance from the county would be greatly accepted. So I think that if there's a policy that treats the non-relative alike with relative caregivers. So again, relative caregivers don't necessarily get the subsidies from the county as foster parents do, or as adoptive parents. So if we can level the playing field and provide that assistance for everybody, whether you're a kinship grandparent, whether you're a relative or not, if you're an
Or an
adoptive
older
parent.
brother.
Or an older brother, exactly.
Yes.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. So that's good. And as the older brother, you first started out as a child in a kinship family with a grandparent. Then, as you grew older, then when you took responsibility, you became a foster parent. Right?
Yes.
And then you moved to become legal guardian.
Yes,
at
so
that
we
point.
transitioned right on over. And now, actually, the kinship program helped us transition on over from being a foster parent to being a legal guardian. So they walked us step by step, and our case manager, Becky, actually helped us go through each step of those.
Right, so helping do the packets for legal
Yes.
guardianship and all
Yes.
of that. So I just have one final question for you, Anthony, and that's this. So your younger sisters and brother, you're now the caregiver for, how would they rate you as a caregiver? As an
Well, I hope
older
they'd
brother
rate-
as parent.
From a 1 to 10, I hope they'd rate me as a 10. But they're a little bit of goofballs. They might say a 1. But yeah.
Well, we think you're a 10. So
Thank you.
This is Greg Kepferly, CEO of Catholic Charities of Santa Clara County, with Change Lives for Good. With me today has been Anthony Cuellar and Saul Gonzalez talking about the Kinship Resource Center. And it's really amazing that these people are truly changing lives for good. Their own lives have been changed, and in turn, they're changing other people's lives for good. So remember, until next time, to speak up, reach out, and change lives for good.